how the teacher's personality is important in higher education. I think this is the needs to look upon as with teaching. We are every time focusing on professional side of the teacher, but not on the personality side, although the personality side matters a lot. So thank you very much, ma'am, and thank you, IoT. So shall I start my session?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. So actually the first thing comes is like defining the personality. What personality actually is. So can anyone quickly in the chat window define personality? Let me see the messages also. Have we given any rights to them, ma'am, for writing? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. They can
Okay.
post their messages in the chat box. I've also given access for them to unmute, ma'am.
Oh,
So they could unmute themselves and answer to your queries.
so any idea about personality? Anything? Anything that is coming to your mind. Okay, Mr. M. Sumai is saying character and value of person. Arpit Srivastav is saying personality, which defines aura of an individual. Right, perfect. Discipline, yes, that is very much related to it. Okay, so actually, when we are talking about personality, means something which is very unique and which is showing the stability in a person in terms of thoughts, in terms of emotions, in terms of behavior, and how that personality is motivating. It is actually a individual character. Not only the individual character, but it is how the people are perceiving you, how they are interacting with you, or how you are interacting with them, and how you are adapting to the environment. So this in total makes a personality. Emotions, behavior, our individual characteristic, our perception, our interaction, how we are dealing with the environment, all those things constitute the personality. Of course, it is an important thing, and that is why it is okay, one more question. Why do you think that understanding this concept is important, and why it is so relevant nowadays? And not only to the teaching, but also to every person. What is its relevance? Any idea about its relevance? Interpersonal skills. Okay. What else? Relevance is important, yes, but why in terms of why it is important to teachers? Why it is important?
Ma'am, in teaching, we need to gain the attention of the students. So for
Yes,
that, our personality is important.
right. Very much agree with you, ma'am, and thank you. So
Thank you, ma'am.
actually, the role of teachers is nowadays but if we say very much, it is a nation building kind of thing. We are building the nation. We are building one person. Okay, so definitely it should be unique. So definitely you see that there are so many people we are also meeting day by every day. So everyone has a different kind of personality, different kind of aura, right? And some of things, when I'm saying that it should be relatively stable, that means some things remain constant with time. And it should not be like today you are something, tomorrow you are having a different kind of behavior. Some days after you are having a very different behavior. So it should also be not there. It should be a relatively stable behavior. You should show your personality as a very stable person. And definitely, yes, yes, Gulsharan ma'am is also right. Good and understanding personality motivates and inspire others. Definitely, ma'am. Sujata ma'am, very much agree with you. Man making and nation building. Yes, nation, we are building the nation. Multi When talking about multidimensional, I mean that it should have all aspects. As a person, it should not be that you are emotional but you are not having social aspect, or you are having social aspect but you don't know how to behave, or you know how to behave but you are not having the cognitive kind of thing, the logical kind of thing dealing with. So it should have a multidimensional approach. And what does it influence? It influence the communication, it influence our relationship, it influence how we respond to the challenges. So this is also very important. And today only, just to give you an example as a teacher also, we can see that many of you can relate with me also. When like we were very young in the 25 or 30, we had a different kind of personality. But when we went to 35, then we are having something more stable. 40 above, we are more experienced. We can handle the student queries very well. So today only I was seeing there was a very young faculty who was teaching in the class, and there was another class, there was some experienced faculty. So both of them were dealing with the students very differently. One who was very young. She was just shouting like anything into the class when the students were talking or something. But the other one where experienced faculty was there, so there was a little bit difference in the classroom aura. So I think all these things also matters about the students. And especially if we talk about the personality in teacher, it reflects our professional identity. So being in teaching, obviously personality is important. Professional identity is also important, and it is affecting our personality on the classroom climate. So how we are, that is affecting the students, that is affecting the student engagement. How the example that I gave you now, that how the personality is different, so how the teacher is behaving differently with the students. And definitely if you have a good personality, a charming personality, it will impact our learning outcomes. It will the students will feel motivated. And personality only shapes that how we can handle the challenges or how we can manage the classrooms. So we, as a teacher, it is our not only our responsibility, but it becomes the part of our personality that is reflected in our professional identity also. That is affecting our engagement in the classroom, that is affecting the learning outcome, that is also affecting how we should handle the class or how we should manage the class. So these are all the definitions of personality. Gordon, in the year 1937, he described personality as a dynamic organization within the individual of those psychophysical systems that determine their unique adjustments to the environment. So if we can see how we are adjusting. And then in the year 1947, personality is the more or less stable and enduring organization of a person's character, temperament, intellect, and physique. So everything is combined and that makes the personality. There is this American Psychological Association, which is a very huge body for psychology. So they define personality as the individual difference in their characteristic, patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving. So these are the three definitions taken from 1937, then 10 years after, and then how APA, that is American Psychological Association, is defining the probability. Personality is okay. We have the personality, but can we develop the personality? Yes or no? Can we develop the personality?
Yes, madam.
But how should we develop the personality?
Through education and motivation and some other aspects.
Okay.
Inculcate
So
inculcate the some good pattern behavior into the students or persons.
right, agreed. But this is for the students, and teachers can also improve their personality
Yes, yes, madam. Yes.
within time, within age, and if we get the right guidance, we are in the right place. So definitely the teachers can also uh, uh, improve their personality. They can develop their personality. Actually, there is a term which is known as personality development, and there is one more term which is known as personality enhancement. So we have the personality, then slowly we can develop also, and then we reach a mature state, then we can enhance our personality also. And same thing applies to every individual. Every individual who is a living being who has a personality can go through these stages, right? So what we can do, we can groom them. We can groom them from their not only the outer self, not only just putting the cream powder or anything outside, but also bringing some changes inside. That is in the life we are talking about, the inner self. And definitely it needs to have communication skills, emotional intelligence, social behavior, and overall character that can help us to achieve that personal and professional growth. I believe that many of you would agree with me that somehow communication skills is required. But can you imagine a student or a teacher who is not having at all emotional intelligence, who is not having a social behavior or the overall character? I recently come across like one person who is very experienced, very mature, is in a professor level position. But when it comes to emotional well-being, helping emotionally anyone, so they are not empathy. They are not having empathy. They cannot empathize. So we need to empathize with our colleagues also, and we need to empathize with the students also. So by empathy, I means that if something is happening to me, I can empathize the same thing can happen with him or her also. And I would tell to you that the empathy is the most demanded skills now in the 2000 this century. It will be the most demanded skills in the coming years also. Yes, human touch also. Yeah, right, Sujata ma'am. Of course, we can update our knowledge by faculty development programs, by skill development programs, or various kind of programs are running. But what about our inner self? What about our personality development? This is all professional development. So we need to have personality development also. Okay. So these are the key aspects of personality development. So for example, self-awareness. Self-awareness, by self-awareness, I mean that we should understand what are the weaknesses, what are the strengths, what are the values. I believe that everyone would have heard of SWOT analysis. Yes or no? SWOT analysis.
Yes, madam.
Yes. Sir, can for just 2 to 3 minutes, can we do our SWOT analysis? Did we sat any time or did our SWOT analysis? What is our strengths? What are our weakness? What are our opportunities? What are our threats? So this is also the important aspect of personality development. Actually, we as a teachers or the organizations where we are working, normally we are also teaching very technical courses. So all the time we are just technical only. We are not looking into these aspects. We are not understanding each other. So this should be done. Then communication skills, very important. Verbal, non-verbal skills, both are important. It is very much required. Emotional intelligence, I have already told you. Confidence and self-esteem, we should have a very high confidence and self-esteem, high self-esteem. Many students also we see they are very good, but they lack confidence. Many students are very good, but they lack self-esteem. Same is the case with the teachers also. The teachers are also sometimes having less confidence and less self. And moreover, it is everything is about your positive attitude and mindset. The more we have a positive attitude, the more we have a positive mindset. So definitely we will have a good aspect of personality development. Like some people are always negative. They will, if something is, we are going to do something, they will always think negative only. So if we think negative, then definitely negative will only happen. So we need to think positive. We need to have a positive attitude. We need to be the problem solver. And with that mindset only, we can move forward. Definitely social etiquette and interpersonal skills, how we are communicating one to one with one another, how our relations are, how do we behave. So these are all the aspects of the personality development. Now, I told you why it is important for teachers, and many of you gave the reply also. But if we see the entire IoT Academy who has put this topic, the reason is because we are teaching the students, right? And if we are teaching the students, then we need to have a good classroom management. We need to have a good student engagement, because this is the problem nowadays, that every student who is having a mobile phone in the class is not, in 60 minutes class, he is 40 minutes into the mobile only maybe, or he's not listening what we are saying. So students engagement in the class should be there, and this is only possible with the personality, how you are communicating, you are having strong communication skills or not. And definitely you need to improve your communication with your students, with your parents, with the colleagues, right? And build the trust and respect in this environment. So definitely teaching is a profession which is a very noble profession. We all say money is very less as compared to other profession, but respect is there in this profession. At least it is there. So if respect is there, then definitely we need to have that trust also, because if trust is lost, then everything is lost. And as a teacher, we have to encourage the students' personal growth. We have to do our personal growth also and lifelong learning. And same thing applies to the student also, because we are also a student only, because we are lifelong learning. That is why we can serve as a role model for the students, because we can see nowadays that even from the school, the students spends most of the time in the class only, so hardly they study in the home. The time is, yes, definitely negative attitude people. Yeah, I have seen people like this also, with the negative attitude. Something we are doing, they will always say why we are doing, why there is a need of doing it, what is the need, or this is there. So we need to move that our mindset also. So what we can do for our personality development, as definitely we can do a SWOT analysis. Yes. Then we can do our self-assessment. Self-assessment is self, that what I have, what strengths I have, what weakness I have, what threats are there. Threats may be new technologies. For example, AI tools that are used nowadays, or any new technology which is coming. So I have to learn that. I should not run away from that. Then I should have clear my personal goals and professional goals also. That should also be very clear, that professionally this is required and personally this is required. Here I would like to tell one difference also. Uh, does anyone have idea, like what is the difference between personal goal I am setting and professional goal I am setting? What are personal goals and what are professional goals? Any idea? Personal goals, professional goals?
Personal goals means taking care of health and also give time to family members, like that, madam. And in the professional growth means you imbibe good skills, update the knowledge, and then with well prepared going into the classrooms, madam.
Yes. So this is very good point raised by you, sir. Very well prepared for the classrooms. So I believe, and many of you would agree with me, because of so much maybe file work and all that kind of work, nowadays the teachers are not able to prepare their class well, or they are not preparing their classes well. With which, what is happening? The result is happening. The students are not listening to them also, due to this reason. So we have to be very much professional in this thing, that if this is my class, then I should not compromise in this. There's no way I should compromise. Anyone is calling, anything is happening, I should not compromise on this aspect. Continuous learning, we have to improve our skills, we have to continuously learn the latest technologies by day. We need to have a feedback system, which somebody mentioned in the here also in the link. Yes, definitely we have to have a feedback, and then based on that feedback, we need to act upon it. We should improvise. Don't We should not take it as a negative. Oh, why he's criticizing me or something. We should take it as in a positive way and move forward. Definitely, maintaining a positive attitude is very much important. Practicing empathy and good communication. Oh, this again very important. So empathy, any idea? Any idea about empathy?
Think on the others point of view, madam.
Yes, this is very much right, sir. When we are thinking from other point of view, like how, if I would be in the same situation, how would I deal with? Let's say today morning it was raining and one student says that, ma'am, I'm late because of this thing happened. So we should not say, oh, you go out of the class and this, blah, this, blah, blah, blah. It should not be there. We should feel it the same way. I may also get late. Someday we also get late. And then there are certain circumstances which we cannot leave. So we can just, instead of just shouting at them or yelling at them, we should just make them understand that they should not repeat this in the near future. Then comes, there's a framework, and this framework is known as Integrated Teacher Personality Development Framework. Actually, many things are coming into it. That is why we call it integrated. Integrated means many things are there, like self-awareness. So for self-awareness, there should be psychometric tests. Psychometric tests are based on certain questions, and based on those questions, many results comes, like you are lying in this to this range, then this thing is there. And then there is another kind of self-awareness test, which is known as Johari window. So Johari window is one where we make a metrics kind of thing, where we note what are the things that we know, then the things we are very much unknown to us. So that kind of window is there. Then skill enhancement, definitely it involves the communication, it involves the classroom management and stress handling. Wow, this is very, very much important for the skill enhancement also. Nowadays, today's life, today's era, we should be able to handle the stress, and we should also make the student also to understand and handle that stress. Actually, that is also the part of our personality. If some stress is there, we should not panic. Something comes that we need to do it tomorrow, we should know how to handle that situation very well. So this is also very much required. uh, Emotional and social growth, conflict resolution. If two people are having a conflict, or they are not having a good thing up amongst themselves, then there should be some resolution for that. So that also we should be able to do for the students and for ourselves also. Then comes the professional branding. Professional branding means if we are in the leadership position, or we are creating a new leader in the students also, how we can create a good leader by giving them some kind of task which shows their leadership quality. Or in professional branding, ethics is also very much required. So if you agree with me, like Ratan Tata, who passed away, so if we say all the brands that he has made, Tata Salt, Tanishq, TCS, the one thing which is everywhere is ethics. So ethics is something which we should not leave, as they are the most important part. So as a teacher also, I believe and I follow that we should not forget this ethics. Because I tell to students also, like for example, they ask me, ma'am, put my attendance, I am not there, they send the message to put the attendance and all. But I say to them that my ethics does not allow to give you this thing, because you are not present. So please don't make me to do wrong because of you. And then if they say something also, then I tell them that maybe if your boss tomorrow say you something to do this, a wrong thing, will you do? Then they say okay, because many times they say, ma'am, वो कह रहा था या वो कह रही थी तो मैंने ऐसा कर दिया. So this is also very important. And then comes the reflection and adaptation. Reflection of what we have learned, adaptation by student feedback analysis, very important. Actually, the feedbacks are the most important thing through which we can see. We should not see it as a negative feedback. We should take it positively and then move forward. So I would say that personality development, it is not an ongoing process. It will help individual to become better versions of themselves. So I would say, if I am one today, I would believe that tomorrow I can improve myself. I can make myself a better person. So it is a process. It will keep on going, continue until we are teaching, or we are in this field. And it is not only about our self growth, but it is how we are influencing the students, how we are impacting their lives, and how we are shaping their culture future, how we are mentoring. And I believe that many of you will agree with me also, that nowadays this mentoring is a guru shishya parampara, actually. So this mentoring is very important. But I see a very different concepts in some organizations, where there is only the file work to do mentoring. But actually this is not mentoring. Mentor is a guru, and to whom mentee, that is a shishya. So we need to follow that mentoring. So if we are doing that also, we are doing a personality development, because a student is associated with us. He can ask us all kinds of things, like regarding his personal things, regarding his social development. So we are playing that role also. So that is why our role becomes very important. So his personal needs, his social development, they are different from the academics. And we can see now our influence is extending, apart from imparting knowledge to nurturing values, like we are making a foundation for his personality. So I believe many of you will agree with me on this point. And how much I don't know how much of us are following also, although many of us follow this fully. So what we are doing, definitely, sometimes we act as a counselor to them, where we offer a emotional support. Sometimes we are a facilitator for them. Sometimes we are a motivator to them. Sometimes we are role model for them because they look to us. And sometimes we provide them all the moral and the ethical direction. So we are actually, in one word, if I would summarize it, call it as a mentor. So do you agree with me? Mentor-mentee system, very much common nowadays. Do you agree with me, all teachers? Are you making the mentor?
Yes, yes, madam. We are maintaining.
Yes. But moreover, when I look to it, sir, sometimes it's like some students get so much connected with us in this kind of thing, mentor-mentee, guru-shishya, where they come for actual guidance to us. What should I do? What should I? Recently, many students, like he was in one branch, he asked me, ma'am, should I change my stream to another stream? And just because I didn't, I maybe I could have stopped him because he was moving from my college to another. But I thought that maybe for his betterment, I should look upon. And then I said, okay, you can change from. He wanted to do AI/ML and want to move to other stream. Yes, I said, okay, you can do. And then he changed his stream also. So basically, I would say these are all the academics and life skills development. So we need to foster critical thinking. We need to have problem solving skills. We need to have creativity. We need to have innovation. We need to improve our communication. Presentation skills, the most important for the teachers. Actually, like it is rightly said, a teacher is one profession which makes all the professions. So definitely we need to work on all the skills. This I have already told. So if we talk about a teacher and a student relationship, I believe as a teacher, we should be a very strong, we should be very respectful, and we should be very supportive teacher. And we should have this kind of relationship that with the student, so that there is a trust, there is a openness, so that the students feel very safe to express themselves, and they should really come to you to seek guidance. Like many of the female faculties are there, then many students say that, ma'am, you are like a motherly figure to us, or you guide so nicely. Male faculties are there, so they ask them and express their guide, what to like, what kind of help from the teacher. So actually, this connection is very important for personality development. And I believe if this connection is not there, then we cannot influence the student attitudes, values, and self-belief. So unless and until we have this connection, we are not going to have a good teacher-student relationship. So I believe that we all are doing that. Since our job is very instrumental in nurturing, and we can just serve as mentors, role models, and guides to lay the groundwork for a student's lifelong. Yes, definitely, the Sarah sir, ma'am. Uh, we are the role model, and we should be the role model, because you can see a student is seeing us from 9 to 5. More than anything, he is discussing and seeing us only. So we have more impact on his life than any other one. And I believe, and I've seen also, if they respect you also, if you are actually guiding them. Maybe you are strict at that time, but they sometimes in the later stage they realize that no, this teacher was good. So these are some of the real classroom case studies. This is one case study that how a teacher can identify a shy student in the class, like, and he can encourage him or her by participating in all kinds of art exhibitions so that they can boost their confidence and social interaction. So this we can do as a teacher. If a student is shy, we can make them participate, ask them questions in the class, presentations, so that he develops certain skills and have confidence. Because our job or role is also to transform a student. Education, if we are educating, then definitely we are transforming a student. The one student who comes in the BTech first year and the one who leaves at the BTech final year, they are not the two same personalities. They are very different personalities, and through these phases what we have done is transformation. Second case study is that we can have group projects, we can have debates, right? So that they can have very good communication skills, teamwork, they can have leadership skills. And another case study we can do also in the classes is that we can practice the active listening. Because many of us teachers, we speak a lot and we listen a less, right? So what we can do is we can practice active listening and empathy, which I'm saying, because empathy is the most important thing now. We can support a student who is facing a family issues, uh, or maybe due to certain family issues, their academic focus is very less, or they are having a less emotional stability. Because as we can see, the society nowadays, parents are many divorced, their childs are there, so they can have different scenarios. So we need to go to that level and see that maybe the student needs certain kind of support. So if required, we can support him in some uh, sense. Then what we can also do, for example, if a student needs to spark curiosity or critical thinking, then definitely we can provide some hands-on experiments, as we do also mostly in like practical subjects. So these are certain real case studies. Any other case study which sir or ma'am, anyone who wants to share? What else apart from this we can do? Any other case study which is there in your mind? Maybe I have which is skipped from my mind. Any case study or any example, I would say, that you have done with your students, how you have like in the, we also submit a case study nowadays in
Madam,
NIR.
I encouraged one student. She is a artist, singer, and motivated her to participate in more competitions, various levels. So
Mhm.
she developed very greatly, madam. She got opportunities also in private albums and some other places.
Okay, very nice, sir. Very nice. So we see how we are impacting the students' life, how we are impacting. Definitely, uh, we don't know somehow, but we have impacted many students. So that is why our personality development is very important. So what are the best practices? Definitely, we should encourage participation in extracurricular activities. And we should give them constructive feedback regularly. We should foster a safe and inclusive learning environment. And we should, this we are doing very less nowadays. We should recognize and celebrate individual student achievements. I remember nowadays it's not happening. If a student, those students who used to have like 90% attendance in the class, or some students who used to have 100% attendance in the class, we used to celebrate that by some certificates, some kind of achievements. Something was there to recognize them. Or if they have done something good, we should just, and it is not just giving the certificate only, we can say some few good words to them. We can have a pat on their back, so that they also recognize those achievements. And another thing is that we need to integrate this life skills education into our daily lessons. So these are only for the like as a teacher which we can do, and these comes under the best practices. So we should follow all these practices regularly. So these are some of the inspirational quotes which says that education is not the filling of a pail, but the lightning of a fire. Or we can say that as teachers, our role extends beyond academics. We inspire, we guide, and we shape lives. So these are some good quotes for the teacher. A good teacher can inspire, can ignite the imagination, and instill a love of learning. This was by Brad Henry. And let's continue to be the guiding light in our students' life, shaping not only their minds, but also their heart and character. So now, after this all, let us understand more about it, more go into the detail, understand the nature, the theory, and what are the personality development things. So this comes under these things. So actually, there are many things which are constituting the personality. There are other, I can say that there are many components of personality. So number one is the physical appearance. So physical appearance, by that we mean the body structure of that person, the health of that person, or how attractive he or she. That is also one of the part of the personality, right? And it comes under the physical appearance. Then comes emotional traits. So emotional traits means not only just the emotional intelligence, but how stable that person is, how the mood patterns of that person is, and how much control he has on his self. That is self-control. So I think many of nowadays, many of the students, they are also not having this self-control, stability, mood pattern. And maybe we can, like I gave example to the students in the class about this shorts. They are seeing the YouTube shorts. So just in 1 second, they are changing and moving to another shot, then another shot and another shot. But most of you will agree with me that these are all the problems for the future, because now they are not able to see even 10 minutes video in the YouTube because of these shorts. Because they have the tendency now to just take their phone and just do their fingers this, and they are not sticking to one. They can't watch one good video also of 10-20 minutes. This is only because of the stability is not there. Their mind is so diverted, and that is why they have the problem of focusing also. So do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Then comes the intellectual qualities. Yeah, with the chat GPT and all the LLMs, definitely thinking style has changed, problem solving has changed, and creativity is something which uh, we are not able to find, because anytime if we give student also something, they just do the chat GPT and come to that. That is okay, we are not denying that this is wrong or bad, but at least they should know the things. They should be able to question that chat GPT also. So we need to see this from the point of teachers also, and from the point of students also. Definitely social attributes, which includes our communication skills, leadership and cooperation. Leadership is called, a person is called a good leader when he creates 10 another leaders. That is a leadership. It's not only the bossy one, the one I will say, or the dictator leadership that will only happen. Leadership is when one leader is creating 10 leaders below him or her. That is leadership. Communication skills, you all are very much aware. Cooperation, see this word cooperation also comes under the social attributes. How good we are supporting one another, how good we are cooperating each to each other. Because at the last, we have to make them a good human being also. Then comes the moral values, which involves the ethics, the honest. Yes, Sujata ma'am, very right. She's telling the holistic nature approach should be followed rather than modern or traditional approach. I agree with that. So definitely, this we can tell to student only when we are having all these things. So as a teacher, if we are having these strong moral values, excellent communication skills, and creative thinking, then only we can inspire student holistically. Otherwise, it is very difficult for a student also, because just see, I am telling you, empathy, just empathize a student also who is not like, he's sitting in the class and he has to listen for that 60 minutes, 50 minutes. So think from their point of view also. So there are different kinds of theory which was given by different people. So one was the Big Five model. So Big Five model, actually it was a kind of ocean strategy. It was there. So they focus on the consistent trait across the situation. So this theory was known as trait theory. Another theory was psychoanalytic theory. So it was Freud's who gave his view on, we know that there are two kinds of mind. One is the conscious mind and another one is the unconscious mind. So he gave his theory, which is known as psychoanalytic theory, and how does that is shaping the behavior of a person. Then there was one more theory which came under humanistic theory, which was known as humanistic theory. And we have studied this theory also, where we studied the Maslow self-actualization theory in organizational behavior. I believe everybody of us have studied this, where we move from our personal needs to
Needs theory,
all
madam.
kinds need theory. Yes, that is a so that is also very important, because we need to emphasize on self-actualization also, right? I also see like I I I will not say students, but many teachers also, like if they are doing something, they will not show to their other fellow teacher, or something like they are building a missile or a rocket or something like that. So like how we can expect then a student behavior if we are not able to share the things on the personal level, we are not able to help other faculty or other staff who is in problem. So how can we expect a student? So first we need to follow all these things. Then there is a social cognitive theory. Social cognitive theory is the theory which was given by Bandura, which says that how the learning is important and what is its role. So what we can do is we can apply this Big Five model to assess students' strength and their areas for growth. So, for example, if we are giving them any project, if we have given to them, so there we can have this Big Five model. So, Big Five model actually is a ocean. It is a ocean philosophy, which means that O is for openness. So C is for consciousness. Then E is for extraversion. Then A is for agreeableness. It will come in the slide also. And then there is N. N is for neurocitizen. So if they can score for how they are scoring for these strategies, and then accordingly the marks to them. So, for example, extraversion means a person who is very, who likes quiet evening, or someone who's like loud party. So we all are like that. Some people may like a quiet environment. Some may like a maybe a party person. Some maybe get irritated by very small things. Some may not get irritated. Some may be very emotional. Some may not be emotional. Some are very secure. Some people, they just don't want to do their work. They mind their own business. Some people are very insecure in the organizations also. So they want to know each and everything which is happening, right? So these are all ocean strategy. This is known as Big Five model. So we can do it for the students also, and we can do it for ourselves also, to see how good we are scoring in behavior patterns. Then there are certain factors also which are affecting the personality. Yes, it may be heredity also. Some, we can say some genetic factors may be there, which we cannot change, which is there. So that can be part of personality, because maybe some person's attitude is like something, and how much you are going to do that, it is not going to change, right? So same thing is known as temperament also. It is very much important, temperament. So we cannot change their biological determination and what they were doing in their early life. So we have no control in them. Then comes the environment. Definitely our family, our peers, culture, education, environment, everything matters. Then life experiences, yes, they are also affecting one's personality. Somebody who has faced many challenges in life, right, may have a different kind of personality. He may look at things differently. Somebody who has seen success may have a different kind of life experience. Somebody who has seen so much failures in life, they will have a different life experience, right? Education, definitely, it is the most powerful tool that can help us to change. It has the power to change everything. So education, which means the knowledge, the skills, the attitude that is gained. So that is also a part of personality development. Then comes our self-effort. Self-effort means how much motivation, personal motivation we are having, right? So there's example also. There are two siblings. They have different peer groups, and they develop contrasting social confidence level despite similar family upbringing. So both childs are born together, brought together, but they both are sitting in different groups. One has a different kind of circle, another is having different kind of circle. So they have a different social confidence level, despite they have the same family upbringing. So this is also important. So this I have already told. So how should we do this? How should we maintain this personality? What should we do as a teacher? Any guesses? How should I maintain my aura always? How should I have this personality?
For the constructive way to inculcate the knowledge of the students or the people.
Right, right, sir. So there are ways through which I can maintain the personality of myself, students also. So what is that? The first thing is positive thinking. We should always have an optimistic outlook. Or always, we should never think negatively. And always we should focus on solutions rather than problems. This is not working, this is happening, this is the system, this is there. We should focus on the solutions. Third is always surround yourself with positive people, you can say, or positive influences, because it very much matters with which person you are there. And there's a saying also you would have heard, like, if you are not rich, but if you're sitting with the rich people, you will be rich one day. Because when you will sit with those kind of people, you will have those kind of thoughts. You will see how they make money, how they are managing time, what they are doing. So definitely surrounding yourself with positive influences or positive people also matters a lot. Right? So you can encourage your students if they have given a poor test, right? But you can encourage them after at all. Like, marks are not everything. You can boost their morale instead of saying that what you have done, you don't know anything, what are you doing, you are this, blah blah blah. You should encourage them. So the purpose is we are maintaining an optimistic outlook. Then second, definitely effective communication skills, right? So what we can do, we can have a very clear verbal and non-verbal communication. What is a verbal communication? What is the difference between a verbal and a non-verbal communication? Any
In verbal, we use words, ma'am. In non-verbal communication, we won't use words.
yes, so something by our body language, our gestures, right? So there should be that also we should follow while we are teaching in the class. We should have clear verbal and non-verbal communication. Then we should also practice active listening, because listening is there, but active listening is not there. So that should also be there. So that will make us a very good teacher if we are listening to our students very much. Instead of we speaking and going in the class and then speaking 60 minutes, why not ask them and we listen? So we should make this habit also of listening them. And then we may have a different audience every time in the class also. So we need to adapt to those communication styles also. So maybe different kind of people are there, different kind of languages are there, different kind international people are there. So maybe different, because they some have this style, somebody has different style. So we need to see our who is the audiences, who is our target audiences, and based on that we can change our communication style. Then comes that we can use storytelling also, so that a student maintains the interest throughout the lecture. He is not bored, because that can only be possible if we are having a good communication skill, right? Then comes confidence building. So we may not be thinking in that sense, but just imagine from the student point of view that how important this confidence is, right? So we need to set some achievable goals. We have to set some realistic goals. We don't have to set something which is not possible. And then we have to see can we achieve these goals? We can recognize their strengths. We can work on the weakness. Strengths, if we know this is my strength, okay, and this is my weakness. So strength is okay. I can work on my weakness now. I can work on, I can improve that little bit. And we can step out of our comfort zone regularly every time, because same thing, same situation, same subjects, same thing. We are not moving out of our comfort zone. So if the student also don't move out of their comfort zone, how can they have confidence, right? So we can do that by giving them the leader role or something to build their leadership skills, right? Now the tip 4, this is time management, right? So we need to see that which tasks are important and which tasks we can do. So we should prioritize our tasks effectively. Then comes avoid procrastination. Third, we may use tools like calendars and to-do list also. So that is also there for time management, because most of the time we are. And third is very important for us, preparing our lesson plans in advance to ensure smooth classroom flow. Because most of the time it happens that our lesson plan is not ready, our PPT is not ready, and then we struggle in the class 50-40 minutes, what to teach, where to teach, which point. So this also brings, this is also very important for a teacher. And procrastination is something we can avoid, because we as a teacher, I know we are very much we very much postpone the things or delay the responsibilities. So we should avoid that also. Fifth, very important, is continuous learning. So we need to stay updated with new knowledge and skills. We need to read books. We need to attend seminars. We need to take courses like we are doing it, like FDPs and all. And we should learn from our feedback and experiences, like a teacher who is attending an AI workshop to integrate new to teaching. So these are all the examples of our continuous learning. We are doing it, most of us, right? So we can say that personality development is a lifelong journey. And by adopting positive habits, effective communication, confidence, time management, continuous learning, we can achieve our personal growth and success. No, it is not over, ma'am. Just 1 second also. So now comes one question. What is the difference between the personal and the personality? Do you agree with me? It is the same or it is different?
Different, ma'am.
It is different, madam.
So what is the difference?
One is individual and other is a total group.
Yes. So because it is very important for us to understand, personal is something which is relating to my private life, my preference, my matters. But when I'm talking about personality, my behavior, my attitude, and how I am interacting with the word. So it is setting the word. So these two are totally different words, which people think that no, personality means some personal is coming, so it is only related to me. No, not at all. So this is very important to understand, right? So personal is all about private matters, our individual preference, our changes, our circumstance, my personal choice, my personal goals, my personal space. But when I'm talking about personality, I mean the character, I mean the behavior, I mean more stability, I mean a friendly personality, I mean a confident personality, or I mean a shy personality, right? So there should be This is important. And this is also one thing which I put here because I wanted to talk this also. Although I would say that internationally also, if we see uh, dressing is important or is it not? What is your look on this?
Important, madam.
Right? So actually, professional dressing for teachers is very important because they enhance their personality, right? If they're dressed very professionally, it sets a very good example for the students, like how a teacher, madam or sir, is coming in the class very nicely dressed. But if you're not that much well dressed, right, so it is just setting a negative example for the students. They are like, oh, this teacher cannot press their shirt, they are coming unpressed. Which I'm not saying personality is just dressing, having 10 pieces of clothes, or you're wearing different things different. It doesn't mean that. It means you're having two clothes, but that is also worn very properly and nicely. So it may give a impact on the student. It may set some positive example, right? And definitely, if you are having a very neat, clean, appropriate attire, it will enhance credibility. If there are some junior faculties here, then I would like to say it and address to them also that okay, we maybe if we say something, it may go wrong in context. Like, you cannot comment on my clothes or this. But mostly, I have also observed that a very young faculty, 23, 24 years old, if they are going into the class and they are just wearing like something like jeans and t-shirts, it is not giving a good impact. You're not looking like a teacher. So they are treating you just as a friend. So we need to have a attire, and definitely it depends upon the culture also, or to the country which we are belonging to. Whether we are teaching in India, whether we are teaching in UK, US, the culture, the thoughts, the value, it also reflect that, right? And we should choose. I'm not saying that you don't wear this or that, but it should be something which is having a professional clothing which is suitable for the teaching activities. And something, if you are wearing something very distracting, that students all the time, they are, instead of looking at the board, they are looking at your attire only. So it is not good. It is I should say we should avoid as a teacher. So these are my two questions to you. Which trait of the personality you would like to develop the most among your students? And as a teacher, how would you develop that trait among your students? Any answers?
Respect the elders and teachers, maintain good values. These are the important. Discipline.
Right. And as a teacher, how would you develop that trait among your students?
As a role model, madam.
Right. And another thing, Shiji ma'am has written, love the students. Yes. So if we give love, we get love, right? We empathize with them, they will empathize with us. So we need to be the role model, as you rightly said. We need to be their mentor. We need to be their guide so that we can help them. So this is one very good difference. So personal is about your private life and choices, while personality is about who are you in terms of traits and behavior. Understanding the difference helps in focusing both personal development and personality enhancement. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much.